There I was, had given it full power. I am nose high, 150 feet above the runway, and the engine decides it's not going to play the game anymore. Hi guys, Darren again here at the Legal. I'm going to tell you a bit of a story about how I had a partial engine failure only a couple of weeks ago in this particular aircraft. I gave full power on the takeoff, and at 150 feet above the ground, the engine really spluttered. I could not maintain full power. I could just maintain straight and level, but of course, as soon as I turned, I started to lose that height. I did continue down the runway before turning to come back down onto the cross runway. If I turned too soon, I was just going to completely miss that cross runway. So I took a bit of nerve just to keep going straight and then turn, a very shallow turn to the left-hand side. The power was down and I was losing height, but of course got myself back into the field, no problems at all. And fortunately, I guess, one of my instructors was on the ground instructing another student, and she got on the mic straight away and just asked if everything was okay. It was, and I knew exactly what had happened, because I've been working on the aircraft prior to that to fix an issue that I had. So I knew it. I told her that at that particular time. I'm going to explain to you what I did and what I've done to actually rectify that. So I'll get straight into it.
Leg under, traffic legal, 8815, rolling runway 22, leg under. Yeah, all good. I just had some fuel starvation. I put a tap in, which is obviously too small. Thanks.
The partial failure came about because I had made some changes to the fuel line. Prior to that particular issue, the fuel line, I guess you can sort of see the blue line goes through. Came through to here, and I had this particular filter in that line. Now that filter would never fill up properly or fully with fuel, and occasionally I would get air bubbles coming back up the fuel line. It was a bit disconcerting for me. So what I did was I decided I was going to move that to here. So when I put it here, the idea is that the fuel would come down through into and completely fill that, so there'd be absolutely no air into it, then continue down. Back down where I had removed it, I wanted to get a joiner just like this, but not a T-piece, and I couldn't get that. So what I did get was, for fuel, from a mower shop, this particular tap. This tap has an internal diameter 3.2 millimeters. What I have here is fuel line going into a T, was to the second fuel tank. I've disconnected that because I will be not putting that on at this particular time. 6.2 millimeter down to, what did I say, 4.3 millimeters for the internal, coming out at 4.3, then back to the wider diameter. Coming down into this fuel filter, this particular fuel filter inlet is 4.1 millimeters, thereabouts, in and out. That went through to here, down to 3.2 millimeters, in, out. That 3.2 millimeter goes all the way down, and hopefully you can see that there is also another join there. I use different lines, so I've got all these joins. Every time there's a join, there's the loss of head pressure, I guess is what it's called. That then goes down through to the gasculator, which is, actually we can see the gasculator right there. And then of course the gasculator comes out, another T intersection, out to the carbs. So what I had was a massive loss of fuel flow going through the fuel line all the way to the carbs. I tested it, collected the fuel, weighed the fuel, and I had halved the amount of fuel coming through those fuel lines because I'd inserted that tap. As part of my pre-flight checks, I did a full throttle run-up. That went for about 20 seconds long, no problems. Full power all the way through, pulled it back to idle, idled beautifully. Taxi out, get onto the runway, full power, and at 25 seconds was when I had the fuel starvation issue. The new fuel line's about to go in. From the tap, I'm going to come down here to one intersection for the fuel filter itself, down, around, and out to the gasculator. One reduction in pressure versus the 4 reductions in pressure I had on that previous line. And this new line, I've already tested it. It's 3 times the flow rate of that particular, the old line that was failing. So there it is, fuel lines in place, one long fuel line until we get to the filter. Now the filter, I'll just get a dowel clamp and secure that to the cross member there. A couple of dowel clamps up the line as well, goes down to the gasculator. One thing I've noticed, there's a colour difference between the 2 fuel lines. They're identical. This one obviously when new was the same blue colour. It's the Bing alcohol friendly fuel line. We don't have alcohol in our fuel here in Australia. But yeah, I just noticed that discoloration. Let's give it a go. To the gasculator and out, and there you have it. Very, very, very good fuel flow rate.